Hey there, good afternoon, Flexus ambassadors. My name is Logan Jones. I'm our Central Region Field Development Coach, joined by Dylan Wild, John Perini, Jake Hoffman, Samantha Ward, Matthew Aaron, Michelle Minnick, and Joseph Boussier. All of us coaches here. I'm super excited for this social media and branding call with two amazing leaders in Diamond Ambassador Laura Robinson, as well as Senior Gold Ambassador Marianne Anderson. So for those of you that have connected with myself or us other coaches, I'm sure that a solid chunk of that conversation had to do with continuing to build relationships, growing your brand and your influence, as well as ways to use social media to continue to grow your pipeline. So today we'll learn from Diamond Ambassador Laura Robinson, who actually helped us put together tons of our social media content from Super Saturday that I've had so many people rave about, that we've all found tons of success with talking about, and other people utilizing in the field. We'll also learn from Marianne Anderson. Marianne has actually been one of our very top enrollers in the entire company for the last few months, and she currently, I don't know if she even knows this, Marianne, but you are number 2 as far as our top enroller for the entire month here at the home office. So huge congratulations, right? And actually too, we I don't know if anybody's been to the home office since, but we recently implemented this board, this TV actually, that has rankings from our top 8 ambassadors across the board, and I feel like no matter what day of the month it is, Marianne's face is all over that thing, usually towards the very top. So huge congratulations. Both of them have some amazing success stories and tips that they're going to share with us. But hey, without further ado, I'd love to turn it over to Laura Robinson so that she can educate us on ways to use social media and build your brand.
Hey everyone, Michelle, my thing real quick is saying that the host has stopped my video. But while they're trying to find my video, I will go ahead and get started. My name on the screen will say Dawnalea Robinson. I am her sister. We're both diamonds with Plexus Worldwide. So a little bit about myself. Let me see if I can start my video now. There we go. Hey guys. I have been with Plexus for almost 4 years. At the end of this month is going to be my 4-year anniversary, which is super exciting. I started with only 100 friends on social media. And it's really funny because a lot of people think that I had this huge network, a huge base of friends when I first started, but I really didn't. I was one of those ones that, I was not going to accept your friend request unless I knew you. I was only really friends with my friends from college and back home in California, and then my family, because I didn't live, in the state where I grew up. So I had no social media influence whatsoever when I started this. I was a full-time ER charge nurse. I was working 40 to 60 hours a week, super busy emergency departments. And I just dove right in, and I kind of had to learn. So I really had to learn social media and how to gain influence online. This is the new generation of networking and sales, right? Like we don't go door to door. I remember, my dad was in sales growing up. So we would literally walk door to door and hang door hangers to advertise his business. We don't have to do that. So we really have it easy with social media, but we just have to know how to do it intentionally and make sure we're keeping relationships first. So a lot of people use social media as a platform for their business, but social media really can be your best friend, or what I say, your greatest, your biggest enemy when it comes to growing your business. You have a pretty small window to make that impression on someone that you're just meeting. So you have to know how to use it correctly to grow your business and keep that tight built community of relationships among your team and your team culture. So let's chat a little bit about influence, because it's a really big part of a networking business. So everyone has some form of it. I know when I do coaching calls with my team, they say, I don't have influence. No one looks up to me, but they do. You have knowledge in some type of area in your life that you can educate people on. Right? If you're an expert in your field of work, if you're an expert in, some type of, parenting tool or whatever it is, you have influence in your own area, right? But your friends and family respect you. And so people look up to you, but you just really have to hone in on each individual skill that you're really good at. So I want you all on here to think of social media, think of your personal page as a storefront real fast. So if you are walking down, an alley, or not an alley, there's no stores in alleys, right? But if you're walking down a street and you're looking at a store, what makes you want to go in that door, right? Is it interesting? Are they creating some type of hype or engagement, or maybe keeping that curiosity where you're like, I want to go in that store. I want to see what this is about. So look at your page. Think of your page like that. Are you portraying your business on your page of something that's interesting? Are you creating hype among, your network and your potentials that you're maybe talking to? And are you keeping that curiosity open of what this business and these products might do for their future or even your future? So you really have to, again, hone in on that skill and use it to help grow your own business and help so many people, because we have products that are changing lives, right? We have products that are addressing some of the #1 health epidemics in the world. We have an amazing business opportunity that is getting people out of financial debt. So you, as ambassadors, just really have to educate people and let them know about this incredible opportunity. So you have to have a good storefront. So let's talk about brand. I don't like the word brand, and my team doesn't like the word brand. I like to use the word, interests, hobbies, or chapters of your life, because a couple years ago when the whole brand thing came out, I was getting a lot of questions of, I don't really know what a brand is. I'm not Nike, right? I'm not T-Mobile. I'm not, some big company. I'm just an ambassador. I don't know what my brand is. So I want you to really dig deep and write down 3 either hobbies, chapters of your life, or interests that you have. And when I talk about interests, maybe you're too busy to do something that you really want to do, right? When I was doing a training call recently, my friend was like, I have no time. I have 4 kids. I'm busy. I'm working full time. I don't know. All I know is I'm a mom and a nurse. And I'm like, no, but you have stuff that you like to do, right? You like to blog. You love to make these scrapbooks. So I'm like, that is your hobby. That's an interest that you want to find. So I want you to write down 3 hobbies or interests or chapters in your life that you have. For me right now, I'm a toddler mom, and I can really hone in on that and say I'm a toddler boy mom, which kind of steps it up another notch because I have, dirt flying at me and trucks everywhere I go. I am building a home. So that's another chapter of my life. And I love, more natural remedies. So I share a lot about seeing the medical side of it as an ER nurse, but then also seeing the natural side and kind of, meshing those together. So those are the 3 hobbies, chapters of my life, and interests that I am in right now. So when you go back to, your social media page, if someone was looking at your page randomly because you just added them as a friend, right? Are they going to see those 3 interests? Will they know what you're about and kind of what you're into? So I like to, audit my team pages, and especially my new ambassadors pages, and see if I can find a little bit more about them before I even really know them. So ask your upline, ask your friend to, audit your page and say, yeah, I'm open to, constructive criticism. Kind of look at my page and tell me what I'm about, because at the end of the day, when you add people on social media, that's the first thing they're going to do is look at your page. Right? And if we are being very spammy and sales-like, where we're just sharing a lot of Plexus stuff, we're just sharing a whole bunch of, cat videos, or I see such random stuff being shared on social media, they're probably not going to follow you, and you're probably not going to have that influence over people, because a lot of people don't want to see just shared cat videos. So you really want to be sharing stuff that you're interested in. So dig deeper. If your upline, your friend says, you know what, I don't know, I'm only seeing shared cat videos, you need to dig deeper and write down 3 of your hobbies or interests in your life, because people don't want to watch cat videos. So kind of moving forward, you're going to get a point in your business where you have to network. This is network marketing, right? So many times I get people saying, no one's interested in my post. The same people are liking it. Only Plexus ambassadors are in my news feed. You have to network. You have to network. This is this type of business. What's great is Plexus is not making you have parties, right? And they're not making you go out and, mass advertise the people on the streets, right? I went to a home building show and my sister and I were walking and this girl literally was like attacking me to buy her windows. And I'm like, I'm so happy I don't have to attack people to sell my Plexus products. So, they're making it easy for you, and you can make it easy on yourself by, making a brand, as we say, and attracting people to your social media page. So I want to say, I would say about 80% of my level ones on my main account and my reentry just came from groups. My network has grown, I would say, I don't even know, 80% more after I joined Plexus. So that's a big thing there when people, when you're talking with someone and they say, I don't know anyone, no one's going to be interested. Well, I didn't know anyone either, right? But I met people and I grew my network after I joined this type of business. So you don't have to have a big network to really, relaunch and brand. So when you get to that point, when you have tapped out of that warm network of your close friends or family, maybe you're only seeing Plexus people, only people are commenting on your posts or people already in the industry, you have to rebuild and rebrand. And this is where I feel like I have a little bit of a specialty in using groups, because this is how I worked my entire business. So, remember those 3 interests that I had you write down a little bit ago, your hobbies, your chapters in your life, whatever it is, you need to find 3 groups that fit, those interests. So, you're going to be, using those as your storefront. So for an example, if I'm going to be in a group about building a home, my Facebook page is going to reflect building a home, right? That's an interest, that's a chapter in life that I'm in right now. So I need to be networking with people that are like-minded. So you're going to have a different storefront each week based off the interest that you're going to network with. So I'm going to kind of give you the steps that I do to grow my business. And I do these steps, I would say, every about 3 to 4 months, right? Because every 3 to 4 months, I'm kind of going through a different interest. I'm in a different hobby, maybe in a different chapter of my life. So every 3 to 4 months, I get into what I call my rebuilding, re-networking phase, and I get into groups. And I'm very, very active behind the scenes in growing my business. So I find the right groups for what I'm into at that time. So just 3. So this might be a little bit harder for you. Moms groups are really common, but you want to find, if you're a mom's group that fits your style. You can get lost in moms groups, right? There's a lot of moms groups, a lot of different parenting styles. So find one that fits your style. When I started growing my team pretty big, my sister and I are both kind of baby wearing what they call crunchy mamas. So I was having people on my lower levels, 3, 4, 5, come to me saying, I don't know if I can be successful in this business because I don't baby wear, or, I'm not drinking elderberry syrup. And I'm like, that's okay. There's, so many people on my team are like that because we are promoting that. That's our interest. That's the groups that we're in. So we are recruiting people that are like-minded because we have that relationship first and we have that common interest first. So, you have to find, you are your own business owner, right? You are the top of your own business. So you have to find a network and a brand and chapters in your life where you can recruit those same people that are like-minded to build that solid foundation. So, spend a couple days trying to find 2 to 3, I would say max 3 groups that fit those different chapters in your life. Only 3, because you can be in a lot of groups, right? And you can get lost in groups. And you still have to be personally working your business and training your team. So if you are just in 500 groups, you're really not going to be intentional in them. So step number 2, once you find those 3 groups that you're going to be in, is you want to create a schedule to be very active in 1 group a week. Okay, only 1 group, because you want to be able to build influence in that 1 group. You want to have activity and you want to be networking in that 1 group. So what I do is, for an example, if this week, right, I'm starting my 3 weeks of networking. So this week I'm going to be very active in my home building group. So I'm going to get into that group and I'm going to ask an open-ended question. It's really easy to get engagement when you're asking open-ended questions. So, you can say, So an example in that group, you can say, hey, what style of house are you building, right? It's super easy for someone to say, oh, contemporary, a farmhouse, whatever it is. The big point of asking questions in groups is creating that engagement. So you want to make sure you are replying to every single comment. So if someone says, I'm building a farmhouse, reply to that comment. Awesome, I'm building this, comment, reply to that comment, and keep that engagement and the commenting going inside the group. This has really helped to build that influence inside of the group. But it's not going to stop there. You want to match your personal page, your storefront, remember, with the group that you're in. So that whole week that I'm active in my home building group, you want to be posting stuff about building a house. You want to be posting maybe, floor plans, quotes, whatever it is, because the big thing is when you add someone from this group, the first thing they're going to do is look at your page, right? And if there's nothing interesting to them, nothing that captures that just the interest or a common, like-minded information, they're probably not going to follow you, or they're not going to accept your friend request, right? If I add someone and they say that I am also building a house and posting stuff that they can relate to, they're more likely to follow me because I am giving them information that they need, and that maybe the just like-minded stuff, than if I add them and I'm maybe just sharing those cat videos and posting only plexus, right? They're not going to want to follow me because in the back of their mind, they're going to think, she's just wanting to sell me something, which ultimately, yeah, we have a business, right? We have awesome products and an opportunity that can really change someone's life, but people join you, right? They're not just going to join because you're posting one picture of, the slim. It might create that curiosity, but you really have to get people to follow you because you are giving them the same information that they're needing, right? So let's kind of go back to the group. So that whole week, you're going to be active in that one group. Commenting, liking. I usually spend like 15 minutes at night before bed, just liking, commenting, asking questions. And what's great is you're building relationships and you're actually getting information that you need, right? I'm in these groups not just because I want to learn about different, or know who's building a house. I'm in the groups because I want to learn how to build a house, right? And get tips from people. So that's what's so great about doing this every couple months is you are not only working on your own personal growth and development, you're meeting people, you're learning about some type of subject that you want to learn about. So ask questions, really be active in those groups. I like to add 10 people a week to my personal page. I like the number 10 because I can keep up with all 10 people, right? You don't just want to add people and then, you're not going to know where you know them from. So in my notepad on my computer, I just write their name down and I write what group I met them in. So when I see them on my newsfeed, I can say, oh, hey, that's Jake. I met him in the home building group. He's building a farmhouse, whatever. So when I'm connecting with him, that a farmhouse is totally your style, right, Jake? So when I'm connecting with him, I can say, hey, how's that farmhouse going? I remember you were building one. When are you moving in, right? I can bring that personal relationship to our page. So I keep little notes. If I add, say, 50 people from a group, I'm not going to be able to keep up with them. I'm not going to remember, what they're posting about. I'm not going to be able to really intentionally build that relationship. So find a number that is good for you. The next week, I'm going to be really active in, say, my toddler mom group. So it's the same thing. Day one, I'm going to ask an open-ended question. A common one that I like to use is, hey, what are you, how do you keep your kids from going crazy, right? In the winter months, they're all this built up energy and it's 10 degrees outside. So that's really easy for moms to respond to. Oh, I do this, I do that. So the same thing. You are networking, adding them to your personal page if you feel that connection. And then you want to make sure you're posting on your personal page stuff about being a toddler mom, right? Stuff about being that the moms can relate to. So lately I have been posting little, Montessori arts and crafts things that I do with my little boy in the house. So I have networked with a lot of moms that come to my page and they're like, I'm going to try that idea. That's so great. So they're following me and I'm building up that influence over, some of those moms in that moms group because they're coming to my page for more information, right? You're also going to add maybe one or two things about home building because you had networked a few weeks ago with those people. The third week, get into your third group. So now you that third storefront. I like to use hiking a lot. We hike a lot in our area. So I'm in a hiking group. So Ask an open-ended question. Hey, what are your favorite hiking rain boots, right? I usually ask a question a day for a week in there, and then I'm engaging. So after you have engaged with people and they're on your personal page, I give it about 90 days before I present Plexus to them. And I feel like I have that belief and that mindset that we have products that help people and we have a business opportunity that can really change lives. So in my mind, I honestly feel like I can look at someone on their page and see if they're going to be interested in what I have to offer. And that just kind of based off of their engagement on your post and how well you are doing building up that relationship with someone. And that really comes from belief and a positive mindset, right? If you are going into it by saying, I'm just going to add all these people because they're going to buy my products, it's probably not going to happen, right? But if you're adding people saying, I'm going to build up a great relationship, we're into the same stuff, and have that relationship lead, then most likely they're just going to be interested in what you're doing, and that's where that influence is going to come from. So, think about a page that you look at, right? Do you have a social media page that you look at every single day, or a blog that you look at, and you have to think, why do I look at it? You're looking at it probably because you're finding out something, right? You're learning something. They're posting something interesting. You maybe want to be a little bit more like them, right? So you have to do that with your own authenticity, your own style, your own brand, and really match that. So when you are networking with people back on your personal page, I just keep it personal. Honestly, I don't believe in just cold messaging people saying, hey, I work for Plexus, join my team. Like that might happen maybe 1 out of 1,000 times, right? But there's a lot of people selling stuff on social media these days. And we have to respect the company, right? We don't want to be spamming people because that gives a bad name to our company. And people join you. After 4 years of doing this, when I first joined and was sending information to people, everyone got information about Slim Accelerator, right? Like that was like, everyone was like, here you go. And I've learned that doesn't work. Not everyone needs Slim Accelerators. So now I kind of ask questions more and I build those relationships. So over 4 years, I have learned that people are going to follow you because you are posting stuff that's interesting to them and that they are into the same chapters in their life and you like-minded people. And that's what you really have to lead with to grow this business. Networking in groups can really grow your business if you do it the right way, right? We're not going to join a group and advertise your business because you'll probably get kicked out. But you want to be respectful in the groups, and then they're going to have respect for you and start following you. So, it's really important to build those true relationships with like-minded people, and then building influence over a new network because they're going to come to your page and relate to you. Plexus is going to come naturally. It really will. Plexus will come naturally. They're going to ask you, what do you do for a living? What is this pink drink that you are posting about? What are these vitamins that you're taking? That's going to come naturally if you have that strong foundation of a relationship first. So when it gets to 90 days that I've had these, relationship and I've been kind of talking back and forth, I do usually present Plexus to them. And I usually offer them, I'll either say, hey, I'm not sure if I told you, what I do for a living. And that's kind of a way to introduce the opportunities. I feel like they would be good for that. If there's an opportunity call, I'll invite them to that. We do a lot of wellness workshops on my team page. So I'll invite them to learn about a wellness workshop and I'll ask them for feedback. So I'll say, hey, I really respect, your opinion. Do you mind if I add you to this wellness workshop we're doing? Or do you mind if I add you to an opportunity call that my company's doing? I really respect your feedback, right? So you're not asking them to buy anything. You're not asking them to join you. You're just asking them to give feedback. And that really takes the pressure off of people. If I've been watching them and I see that they, are struggling financially or they, are posting about headaches and stuff, I come in because I'm confident that we have products that could help several, conditions. So when you have built that relationship, people are going to trust you and they're going to respect, your opinion when it comes to that. So that's kind of all I have. I know there's a couple questions. I don't know, Michelle, Logan, do I have a couple minutes to answer some of those before Marianne? Okay, so I'm just going to go through a couple of them real quick. There's a lot, so I'm just going to kind of go to the middle and pick so I have Marianne has enough time. So Hang on, they're coming in. Okay, so I'm just going to start with Tammy. She says, how much time do you spend on each group per day? It really just depends on my time. I feel like I'm really busy. It depends on if my little boy goes to sleep easy or not. Usually at least 15 minutes. You can get so much done in 15 minutes if you sit down and you're not scrolling Facebook. First thing in the morning, if I'm recruiting and I'm in this whole mode of groups, I do not even look through my Facebook. I immediately get on my social media, go to my groups, post questions, engage with people, go to my team page, follow up. I don't just scroll. The same thing at nighttime. I go immediately to my group. So you can get so much done if you're being productive with your time. So how do you approach asking people to frame you outside the group? How do you approach asking? So the people that I ask to be my friend on my personal page from the group are people that have engaged in my posts that I make in the group. So if they say, oh, this is what I do with my little boy or whatever, I'll engage with them. So I'll reply back and then I'll send them a friend request. And I always send them a message too. So I'll just use Michelle. So if Michelle, she is engaging in my group, I'll send her a message and I'll say, hey, Michelle, I'm in this mom's group with you. Thank you so much for responding back to my my post in there. Where do you live? Is it cold where you live? So I'll just have that conversation go naturally based off of what we were talking about. Okay, so once you get them on your page, how do you convert to Facebook Messenger? Okay, so that's basically what I do is I just send them a message based off of our conversation in the group. I feel like it never sounds spammy because I'm not really presenting Plexus to them. I'm really just building off that friendship. And what's great about this is I have, I don't even know, probably over 100 ambassadors that I've got just from groups, and we're all friends still. So some are with Plexus still, some are not, but we have that friendship first, and that's what's so important because maybe down the line they're going to want to try the products or maybe even come back and work the business. Okay, so do you post about Plexus on your timeline? I do, but I do it if I'm in this phase of where I'm wanting to recruit, right, and build up relationships and network. I don't directly say Plexus, and I really use working from home, my wellness company, because unfortunately we're in this generation where everyone's selling something. So if they come to my page and they just see Plexus, 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 they're automatically most likely going to think, oh, she's just selling me Plexus. When I go to someone's page and in their little heading, if they say, I work for, one of our competitors, I don't even accept their friend request because in my mind, I think, well, they're just going to steal my stuff. But that's what we think, right? And especially if you're kind of in the millennial age range, like we had just grown up with people selling stuff. So I do not recommend just kind of having Plexus all over. However, when I'm out of this whole recruiting phase, I post, but I make sure it's personal, right? I don't just really share too much graphics. I really try to make personal posts. If I see someone that has a great post, I usually message them and say, hey, can I use your post and kind of switch it around? Don't reinvent the wheel, right? If someone's doing something that works, just ask them if you can kind of use their idea. Okay, I'll take a couple more questions. Let me see which ones are actually really good. Okay, so do you look for groups that have a smaller member base? I don't know. It really just depends. I wouldn't be in a group that has 10,000 people. You're probably just going to get lost. But I wouldn't be in a group that only has 200 people because a lot of times those admins are on lockdown, right? The admins know who you are, what you're about, and people really can read you if you're trying to be, just get in there for the not the right intentions. I actually admin a group, and I am very selective on who I choose based off of their profile. So if I'll actually go to their profile. If they are just posting all this business stuff, I actually don't even accept them because I know they're probably just trying to network. So make sure you have that friendship first. And then how often do you message people back and forth? It just depends. I mean, I don't really have a routine. I don't have a system where I'm just sending X amount of messages. It really just depends. I mean, sometimes I talk to someone throughout the entire day. Sometimes it's maybe once a week. And that's where that friendship comes naturally. If I'm carrying on a conversation, I use voice message a lot. For a couple of days straight, obviously I'm going to be overly active on that person's page. I'm going to learn more about them, and then they're probably going to join my team or buy from me. So it really just depends personally. Okay, let's do one more. So Angela says, thank you, Dawnalea. Don't give my sister all the recognition. It's Laura. I'm just kidding. I'm just using her account because we don't like to spend extra money, so we just split everything. Okay, so do you do different groups every month? I really just get into groups every like 3 to 4 months. Really just depends on where I'm at, in my life, and where I'm at kind of training my team and stuff. So if I'm loving a group, like obviously I'm in a home building group and I'm in there probably every day for the past 4 months because it's something that we're actively doing. But if I'm just in this kind of, rebuilding, revamping my business mode, I'll just kind of be in there for a couple weeks and I'll alternate. So I'll say, home building group for a week, mom group for a week, hiking group for a week, and then I'll go back to my home building group. And I'll do that like 2 or 3 times over the course of like a month and a half. And then usually I have so many new people on my page, I can kind of come out with a relaunching post, right? Like, I'm super excited for this opportunity. And then, you're presenting you're presenting Plexus to a whole new group of people on your social media page that have never even